Katzcradul here. A couple of days ago I made a video about some things we had purchased and things I was doing, and one of the things I talked about is recommending that people grow houseplants to improve their air quality, especially in case there was ever a time when you needed to either stay quarantined or needed to be in your home and not be able to open the windows or doors or that kind of thing. Plants really would add to the quality of life. And I had several people send me comments saying, oh, I'm not good, I don't have a green thumb, everything I touch dies. Other people saying I live in a really arid area and things just don't grow well here. I'm going to show you a simple way to get some green plants into your house with very, very little trouble. I have some most of what I grow is ivy, just because it has a nice big broad leaf, it's easy to care for, and so I have, like in the dining room, I have this little antique teapot that I've just potted with potting soil and have this ivy in it. I've probably had that in there maybe 6 years, a long time. Then I have this other ivy. This is just in the original pot it came from. I just stuck it in a pretty tin embossed planter. I probably paid about $3 for that ivy. I've had it for years and years. Here's some new plants I purchased. I don't really necessarily recommend an African violet. Raising African violets was my hobby in junior high and high school. I know that's strange, but that's what I like to do. So I know how to grow them, and I bought this pretty one the other day, but that's not necessarily one I recommend because it can be kind of fussy. Here's a new plant. I don't even know the name of it. Let me see here. I may not even say it. Purple assorted. Yeah, that's real specific. Let's see right here. Exotic angel plants. That must be the company. I don't know what kind of plant this is, but I liked it because it's in medium light, which is where I want to use it. It does like lots of water, so I'm going to try that in a planter with this variegated ivy right here, and I may even stick the African violet in there. We'll see. But here's the easiest way I know to grow ivy. It's really fail-proof. I take a glass urn like this, and I don't think I paid but $1 or $2 for this at one of those big bargain pottery stores like Garden Ridge Pottery or something like that. It's not very expensive. You can find lots of these at garage sales and flea markets. And I just fill it up with water that I've run through my filter pitcher. Plants don't really like chlorine that much. If you can avoid giving it to them, that's great. I'm going to refill. I'm going to filter my pitcher again because I like to get the water level up fairly high. And here is the ivy I've had in that jug. And you can see the roots have grown really long. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I'm going to trim those up a little bit because they just don't need to be that long. And I find that when I trim them, that the ivy begins to grow in. So here's what I cut off. And also sometimes you'll be able to feel them, and you'll feel that one of the roots is kind of rotten. If it feels kind of soggy, you need to cut that away. This one, I think I am going to cut this one up here. It does feel just a little bit mushy. So I'm going to get rid of that. There's another piece I got rid of. So let me just take this apart so you can see. So here's, I'm sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. Come on, thing. Okay, so here's how it looks. I left that much root, which is plenty. Just plop it down in here. You can make this really pretty. You can put pebbles down here, natural colored stones. That looks real pretty. I've done that before. Some people put a betta fish down in there and let them eat and live, but I don't have time for fish. So there's just two. Was there another one? No, there's just 2 stems of ivy in there. So that's really not quite enough, and what I'm going to do is this plant over here that's in this planter has gotten really leggy. Look at these runners it's sent off, and I'm going to try to trim that up just a little bit. I'm going to cut at an angle. That way you get the maximum surface area for that plant to soak in water. The only thing you have to remember is you don't want any leaves below the water line because they will rot and your water will get nasty. There's one I'm going to cut off right there. Hold on. Sorry for the jumpy camera. Let me cut this one off right here. I'm going to cut it off just to be sure there's no leaves below the water line. That new one that I just put in there, the new stem I just put in there, will probably root in 2 or 3 days. I'll see little roots coming out of it. This is in a very low light area. It continues to grow. The only thing I have to do is periodically I put more water in the jug. In fact, I just emptied this jug completely and scrubbed it out good. If your water has any hardness at all, you'll kind of get a line at the water level where the water level stays, and all you have to do is clean it off with a little vinegar and rinse your container out, and then put your ivy back in. And I just keep this sitting on my piano, and it, like I said, it's very, very low light. I may go ahead and trim up, in fact I think I will, another piece of the legginess of this ivy here, and just go ahead and just fill this jug here. Now if the jug gets too full and I've got lots of rooted ivies in there, then I go ahead and plant them in a pot and put them somewhere else in my house. And that way I've got these plants that are taking in my carbon dioxide and they're giving me oxygen. It's a wonderful way to have plants in your house, and it's just no trouble at all. I just fill it up when the water level gets low. Periodically I drain it all out and put new water in. And the most important thing I can tell you is that when your leaves get dusty on your plant, just take it over to your sink and run it under the water. That's what I did with this one just now. You can see water droplets on it. I just tilted this little teapot and washed all the dust off this ivy, because they cease to give off oxygen as well if the pores of the leaves are all clogged up with dust. So I just rinse them off. The other thing I need to mention is that when you're growing ivy in water like this, in a container where there's not going to be any runoff of excess water, say as if you were watering one of these ivies that's in this little pot that has holes in the bottom, the excess water would run off. You really don't want to fertilize this. You can, but you have to be very, very careful. I may put just a couple of beads of Osmocote, you know, the little granular, the little beads of fertilizer. I may put a couple in there, but not much, because whatever it doesn't need, it can't get rid of. It's sitting in that water, and it's easy to burn your plant up. Just a couple of little beads of fertilizer if you want to, but not. You would never fertilize it like you fertilize other house plants that are able to let the excess water run off. Please give it a try. Not only does it add beauty to your home, the greenery makes an indoor space come alive, but then you've got these gorgeous plants that are oxygenating your environment. I hope that answers any questions. Even the most arid of climates, you can grow this ivy in water. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm not an expert on plants. I've just grown indoor plants for a long time and have had good success. Let me know if you have any questions. Send me a PM or leave a comment, and I hope this helps somebody. Bye. Katzcradul. I just thought of an important piece of information I left out. You can't just buy ivy with bare roots like this. What you would do if you want to do that is you take an ivy like this that you buy at the Home and Garden Center or wherever you buy your plants, and you just take it out of the pot and shake all the dirt off, and then begin rinsing each little stem and each little root till you get all the dirt off. You won't totally be able to get the dirt off. These have, of course, have sat in water for years, so they're really clean. But you go ahead and rinse the dirt off as best you can, and you may have to start them in a little bit of a smaller container than this, because your roots and stems won't be very long. But that's how you do it. You just buy a plant like this in a pot, shake the dirt off, rinse all the roots off, and then you can put it in water. That's how to get it started. That was kind of a critical piece of information I left out. Okay, Katzcradul out.